One thing the reason why I make videos is because I want to continuously show the patterns of how they manipulate my thoughts, and show how, like, this is a new thing they change. This is another memory they manipulate. As a target individual, they have the ability to just kind of erase your memories and change them into different ways. They play with your memories in different ways. If you go filter for any videos um, of mine and filter for something in regard of memory, you'll see a few videos, a lot of videos. I think my first one was in 2020, and I talked about how they change memories and add this. And then lately, I've been continuously saying they do this, and next time there'll be another memory manipulated, and that's going on. That goes on and on and on. Uh, this is why I make these videos. I want to make it like as obvious as much as they use these childlike individuals to try to get you to accept these things. I want to show the pure obviousness of their manipulations. I want them to dumb themselves down to a point there is no return. Because with my perps, right, maybe other target individuals are different in the sense that they don't try to play this gimmicky psyop. I'm sure there's different psyops, but for me, they're trying to present themselves as this like organization of goodness, people who are like, like they're just investigating and they're just avenging, and they're like this BS stories, right? They're just trash that work for these governmental entities, these people that the intelligence community that obviously have been using people to improve and develop this technology, right? And they need more people, and they do the same things. The tactics are very systematic, and even the ways they do things. For me, there's a lot of childlike individuals, and they like to send those childlike individuals in the V2K version, meaning that I can hear their voices sound like a child. You see them, it's even worse. I mean, that's when you know that anybody can participate. And when they do something that is so obvious, they send them and they go into the scripts that I keep talking about, where they go into repetitions and try to disorient you and try to change subjects. And then, there's older person, like a man who tries to sound menacing, like, now we're going to trust you. And then it's humiliating. 2 seconds ago, another manipulation, typical things they do. There'll be another one coming up with regard to memories. They make me think of before, I used to go to this Platinum Fitness, and there was a worker there. She looked like, maybe 26, 27 years old. But initially they were trying to make me imagine like she's underage, whatever, right? I'm like, okay, she's not. But they tried to bring back, and then they tried to bring back the time that she brought a child. Oh, I think she brought a child. I'm not exactly sure, because I know they can just, my memory states right now is just, whoa, they're just erasing. They can block out memory and they can censor your memory. So I'm like, it feels like she brought a child, but I'm not sure. Is it something like it just, but either way, they make me, and she does like a little toddler, little girl, in my in the memories I think I have, which I don't know if it's true, but it feels like it's perhaps true. But I know my memories, they can censor my memories. They do these things where they censor your memory in a sense that your memory is no longer like you can forget things easily, and with time it's worse. Like they can make me forget that something just happened like yesterday, right? So they censor your memories, and they want to have these battles where like, was it real memories or not? It's like, either way, I know my memories can be censored. So I'm gonna go with the fact that she brought a child, right, a little girl, according to them, according to the memory I'm having. So the way they make me experience how I saw this kid is added with the typical stimulation I talked about a while ago in 2020. With the sensation and stimulation they make me have now when I look at babies, little girls. Go in my 2020 video. I literally depict, they can make you have a perception, a sensation that you didn't have at the time, and make you believe that's how you felt it. I was like, no, that's falsified. Before that, it was like the quote unquote the mother. Is she underage? Is she really? It's like, she's underage. And then, oh no, but she brought the baby, and then give me the stimulation. It's like, oof. Every time they can implant a false sensation where there's little kids, little girls, little whatever, babies, they're gonna make me experience that in that memories, so they can say we're matching to Dan, we're matching, and they're sending these childlike individuals. It's disturbing because they do this pedophilia type of torture. It's something they do systematically, and they have the ability to manipulate your memories to experience things that you weren't experiencing before. Edit your memories. It's a way to try to make you accept what you're experiencing today. Now, if I've been making videos since 2020, depicting things and saying things that's happened today, it's because I'm so sure that they manipulate this. Now, my memories, I understand, they're fading away. I will never experience memories as mine anymore. It's going to be the memories with the added whatever sensation. Do you want to sense? Okay, now the sensation I'm forced to experience when I look at little babies, little girls, little boys, whatever memory, especially if it's not a strong memory, because it's just like, okay, oh, she brought, oh, good for her. Like, oh, that would change it. Bad stimulation. If it's something, especially if it's a quick, like a moment where somebody brought her child or something, and it's like, okay, well, what's new? Like, that's not gonna be something that sticks in my mind. I'll probably think more about this person working there, but not remembering her child. And so, oh, perfect. Add stimulation there. Yeah, you felt this thing. So, yes, I'm saying that all the time. I've been saying that 2020. So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again. They're gonna try to find a memory where there's a child, a little girl of some sort, make me get some stimulation, and so that's how you felt. The better the memory, the better it is the memory. If the memory is not something that's just like something that you retained too much because it was just. But if it's something that's like a little stronger, a moment that kind of like you retained, they can do that. Well, they can do it, but you'll be like, okay, this is even too obvious. So I know that's what they do. And it's nasty. But that's what they do, is systematically. There will be more things like that. I've been saying that for a while. That what they're doing is they try to find where they can implant these false memories and sensations and get you to experience that. And say, we matched it. They've done it to as much as they can. Of course, I know it's falsified. I'm getting the stimulation that I'm getting today now in my memories. And they want me to fight, like to battle, to try to get a real memory. How can I do that? Of course, I know I can do that. My memory is gone. Now I have this falsified memory with the sensation. That's the implant. So they did two things here. First, they tried to make me have this battle. Did she bring her child or not? And I'm like, you can block that. You can censor that memory so quick. You think that's engraved in my brain? I don't care. But now it's like, oh, she brought a child, but you got the stimulation of, okay, yeah. And then they try to start using this tonality. It's like, no, it's you. It's like, and then you're gonna die. It's like, okay, then I'll die by you. One thing is for sure is target individual. This is dignified death. I did not subscribe to this manipulation, how you force me to experience memories. I know you guys torture children. I know you manipulate memories. I know you in program that does horrible things to babies. You work for entities filled with pedophiles. These tactics are done systematically around the world. And I've been saying that since 2020. What a bottom feeder life. I'd rather starve in the streets than live their little fantasy. And in my brain, they're trying to implant this memory and make me be accepted for it. It's a false memory. This is why I make these videos. It's because they want you to be even doubtful. I have no doubt. You are forcing me to get sensation, stimulation I didn't have in that memory. It's falsified. Now, did she bring her child or not, it doesn't matter. Did I get these stimulations? I know it's not true. That's what you make me experience. Because this is the things they've been doing throughout my day. It's going to be another story next time, another memory. And I'll make the same videos and I'll be, hey, listen to these things. You think I'll subscribe to this? Never. So to all my target individuals, do not subscribe to this falsification of reality they've created. Regardless of who's using this V2K to interact with you. Stay strong and know who you are.
Able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images in imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
They try to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting. They take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know.
I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat.
The targets were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa is true.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow."
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
Occasion, I was told I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, she's going to get shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What?
8 billion brains on the planet, potentially. Read them. Marines. Underwater.
How do you explain this is happening to Len? How do you rationalize it?
Him in private. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Can I talk? Here's how I do my studies, and I wanted to find the commonalities, but I have to throw away the ones I'm uncertain about that are true targets. You know, maybe there's natural schizophrenia, there's a whole bunch of chemical imbalances,
Right,
et cetera.
right.
These weapons can actually induce and mimic all those diseases and effects. But the conversations, the scripts, they're called, are always the same. I've heard them all. They're slightly tailored for each individual, but they're scripts. And they're meant to confuse the very derogatory. That's just typical breakdown. You know, have you ever been to boot camp? You're a worm until you're part of the team. And why would you want to break down the ego of that person? To rebuild it. So this gets into creating Manchurian candidates, split personality spies, and information couriers, people that will carry the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, you know, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all the stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
This is Jeremy Radlow. I'm here to tell you that non-consensual human experimentation is happening in the United States today. I've been the subject of this experimentation for more than 5 years. Calling these activities experimentation is truthful but possibly distracting. I think the criteria governing the selection of experimentees will prove to be a much bigger scandal than the experimentation itself. The psychological torture protocol that's part of the so-called experimentation includes, but is not limited to, the use of non-lethal weapons and mind-invasive technology. Sleep deprivation, pain center stimulation, and worse are used against subjects. While some experimentees have found foreign objects in their bodies suggesting implantation, most have not. Receiverless mind-invasive technology has been demonstrated under laboratory conditions, but the most likely explanation is that experimentees are implanted with foreign objects either too small to appear on commercially available scanning equipment or designed to be indistinguishable from the surrounding tissue. These activities are highly deceptive, use clandestine technology, and have the fingerprints of the CIA all over them. It's unreasonable to expect isolated individuals receiving this treatment to furnish proof. A thorough investigation is warranted.
That's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Where are you?
Well, don't worry, Stephen. I think a few of them were fired.
Yeah, well, the rest that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally, whatever the hell that.
Where do you
think
you
the
work?
CIA. That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud, while on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job.
Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one?
Right.
You're like, I better check the other 1,399 just to be safe.
Yes, I better check the other 1,300 labeled tax things.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
And the guy with the 6-year-old?
Disgusting.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Twice with the 6-year-old.
So and here's the scariest part, out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything.
Yeah.
With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water.
Yeah.
The CIA raping children and sexually assaulting children, and they're not being prosecuted? Where are you?
Had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that you mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked.
Able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
They're trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting. Take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. This disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't.
Often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close. I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my clothes.
The targets were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa is true.
Military medical research. I too believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Marino, he basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured. I have burns on my body. I'm an American. I have rights. The answer to the question, the big question today, could it happen today? The answer is yes, it is happening today.
Able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory.